Hail, hail, and welcome to a Celtic World North America podcast. We're a part of a YouTube channel, the Celtic World, that focuses on the worldwide Celtic support. And on our show, we're going to try and bring a little bit of the North American perspective on all things Celtic. So it was another big week for the club. And as the title of this show says, the boys are back. Martin O'Neill has brought back life into what had become a very stale side. So we had a real strong performance on Sunday versus them Huns, and it's kind of got everybody back on board seemingly. And I got two of my pals on here tonight to talk about the game. So first things first, say hi to Chris. Chris, how we doing?
Hell, doing all right.
Good to see you. Did you get to watch the game live?
Absolutely. Live at 8 a.m. I love it.
Nice. And then this will be our first guest from across the pond. Our pal Tony from Glasgow. Tony, how you doing?
All good, boys. How are we?
It's great to have you on. Me and Chris have been so excited for this one, to put this one together. So we had talked about it for a while and finally made it happen. So
that's the thing, like me and you guys have spoke on Twitter and whatever for God knows how long now. Actually, I logged onto Twitter for the first time in about 6 months earlier, and just to see when I'd actually started my account, and it was 2015, but that was my second account. So I definitely had one before that. So God knows how long it actually is in total. Yeah, the first one get banned. You can probably imagine why.
Same here. I still never got banned from Twitter. I ditched it for a while, and then I came back when we started doing this podcast. Probably was what brought me back. I just got sick of all the. It's like just a MAGA, just fucking filled with that shit. I can't take it.
Pretty much the same. Yeah, when it started becoming highly right-wing targeted posts, no matter what you were following, I was like, nope, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
So how did you watch the match on Sunday? You weren't there.
No, obviously I've got the season ticket, but I didn't get a ticket in the ballot. To be fair, it's the second time in God knows how long, like 20 plus years, for Hampden tickets, so I can't complain too much. It's only the second time. But yeah, it was interesting to watch it in the pub for, just hearing the shooting the shit, like the nonsense that goes on round about you, the overreactions and everything from people around you, like there was people in the pub shouting, for like Engels to get hooked at like 60 minutes. And I'm like, he's playing excellent. Like, calm down.
Yeah, people always have their one go-to guy that they're out to just berate the entire game. I remember being down at the Plow, Joe Hart. Anytime Joe Hart got the ball with his feet, and knowingly that Ange and Brendan both aren't the kind of booted up the park kind of coach. So get it up the just get rid of it. And he's never going to do that. But this guy would bitch about it every single time he got the ball. It got so annoying.
It's the same when you're at the game, at Celtic Park. So I sit in 105. So if there's anybody else around me, he's a shout next time. And most of the crowd are all right, but sometimes, you're like, mate, seriously, just calm down. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're 4-0 up. It's the 85th minute, and they had a misplaced pass. Can we calm down here? Now, obviously, that hasn't been the case, recently. So it's understandable why people would be getting on the back. But I'm talking about, during great seasons that these sort of things go on,
So I didn't for me. I didn't, and I did the Cone of Silence CSC for the first time ever for a derby match, which was a weird day. I've done it for midweek Champions League games, which is a little easier, I think, just because I'm at work and you can avoid it, and we were talking about it before the show. Tony bit.
And I meant to ask you why you done it, because you never actually said why you done it.
It was.
I mean, it would literally need to be my like grandmother's funeral, and even then, she might actually want me to watch the game.
Celebrating wife's birthday stuff. We went away
Right.
for the day, so by
Smart
the time
man.
I got home,
Smart man.
Fair enough.
yeah,
fair
because
enough.
she does. I do get to pretty much do as I please when it comes to watching Celtic. So for once, I gave it up for the day, and knowingly that all right, maybe I'll try this to go back to the cone of silence thing to see how that works out, and it worked out. It was fun. I had a good day with it, and weird shutting off my phone all day. Like I was totally disconnected all day, which
It's nice.
it's nice, but weird. And I want to do it again because you're right. It was nice.
Well, see, and like the thing is like you texted me at like 7:30 in the morning, and you're like, "Are you watching it live?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I plan on watching it live because I didn't have anything else, going on and it wasn't 6 in the morning. That's my biggest issue. At like 6 in the morning, like I'm not awake enough, I don't think, to watch a Celtic match and then actually know what's going on and really getting into it. So for me, doing the kind of silence is like being able to put myself in the place where I can like really focus on watching the match. I think that's the good thing about the cone of silence in that regard. But I feel you because it's especially during a derby, it's tough.
Oh yeah, definitely
super tough.
It was tough, and I wouldn't do it again because I do like being like having a connection with everybody, like whether it's at the pub or like just on social media or texting people and stuff during the game is always fun. So,
Well, me and my cousin were in the pub, and my other cousin, his brother, was watching it. Shall we say surfing, the high seas, dodgy box type of thing. So he's about 2.5 minutes behind on this dodgy box. So by the time we've finished celebrating the goal and everything, he's texted his brother and he's gone, "Got to stop ruining the game for me." He actually blocked his own brother.
That's perfect.
I've seen that happen in the CSC in Philly, not at the Plow, the one before that when we were at Fido. Like back in the day, you'd have buffer, like it would buffer a lot, and you might be 2.5, like you said, 2.5 minutes behind or 2 minutes behind the actual action, and then people are looking on their phone and like saying, "Oh, I remember the one. It was who was it? Chris Boyd's about to score a goal," and you're like, and then he did it again later, and then everybody was like, "Just get this guy out of here!" Like he's like
ruining it.
Yeah, it sucks. Like there's assholes like that who
the worst thing about the worst sort of thing about watching the game in Glasgow on one of those is you can be sitting in the house, you hear a neighbour or something going, "Yes!" and you're like, "But for who? What's going to happen?" You know something's going to happen, but you don't know what.
Yeah, we get that for Eagles games and there's been times where I've been a little delayed starting an Eagles game and you hear a roar in the neighborhood, like, and you're like, something happened here.
I mean, if they're in Philadelphia, hopefully not. At least Eagles fans.
Yeah, well, you're pretty sure it is.
If not, get them evicted.
So I guess like tonight we'll talk about the match a little bit, and then towards the end we wanted to dig into, because I know like Tony's a humongous Boston fan, so Red Sox and Patriots and Celtics. I don't think so much the Boston Bruins, because I don't think you're a hockey guy, but maybe if you were to have a hockey team, it would probably be the Bruins.
It would be, but I just can't get into it.
Yeah. So we'll get into a little bit of that and talking about how you got into it and all. But first things first, let's jump into the match, because it was very event-filled. Lots of talking points. So I'll post up the lineup and just what were your thoughts, Tony? What were your thoughts when you saw the lineup?
I thought it was the right lineup. I don't think you could complain with it, if I'm being completely honest, with the people that were out like Tierney, sorry, not Tinecti, Kalichi and Acho up front. I think he would have probably, just for the experience of a game like this. But I think Martin O'Neill nailed it. I think that's exactly what every Celtic fan looked at and went, yeah, that's the team to go with. Obviously leading up to the game, you never know, but Kenny's just scored 2 goals earlier in the week. You've got to give him the start, I think. So yeah, it's the team that I think most is expected.
Yeah, I think so too. What did you think, Chris?
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Martin O'Neill's looked at the lineup and just said, like these are my confirmed. Like let's just go and do it. Let's go play and see what happens. And then, anybody that was left on the bench was, possible options, later on. So, yeah, I think he nailed it too.
I know when we talked last week, I think we pretty much had everybody else. I said I thought maybe Dyson would start up top and he would start Forrest on the right wing instead of replacing Dyson. But as the week went on, and you're right, like Kenny having 2 goals and giving him that start, I think it did, and I think that's what Martin O'Neill is bringing to us, and it's just like that man management kind of guy, boosting players' confidence and giving them the opportunity, and then later on giving like Osmond an opportunity where Brendan never even gave him a sniff of the field.
Yeah.
So so as the week went on, I kind of was like, I do think he's going to start Johnny Kenny, and I've never been a huge Johnny Kenny guy, but that goal on Sunday, I kind of take back all the bad things I've ever said about him, which I didn't say a lot of bad things about him, but
yeah.
I think it's a bit of a tough one because obviously Kenny was out on loan last year, scored a lot of goals, not even just League of Ireland, like got goals in like the Conference League, where you go, right, that's a decent level, and he was getting a lot of goals. And then to come back to Celtic, gets a new 4-year deal, but then suddenly just sees no playtime. And it's not as if he's still like 19-year-old, is it? He's 22 now, is it?
22,
So, it's not as if he's still very, very young. He needed to get playing, he needs to play. So I think he deserved his opportunity. And he did not disappoint, did he?
No.
Yeah, I mean, spectacular.
Brilliant header.
Yeah.
So in terms of the match, then I guess, like I said, there's so many kind of talking points and like the shit that happened. We feel like we started off just pressing their back four whenever they got the ball, and they were so shaky. Like Suter and Jiga, is it Jiga? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but Jiga particularly, I thought he was. I think I posted on Twitter, like, I think the worst center back I've ever seen obviously for like a lower teams in Scotland, but he was terrible. He just looked shaky every time he got the ball. It was missed hits. So I felt like there was a lot to take advantage of there, and we pressed the fuck out of them, and it did kind of work. We were getting chances, but again, a little bit wasteful in the chances to start. How did you guys feel like in the first, how the game started off, Chris?
I think we started well. I think whatever Martin has told them to come out and just kind of play loose. Let's just go. Let's run them. Let's press. Let's do those kind of things. It seemed to me like we were kind of in a good flow that I was expecting, a goal for us relatively quickly. I think when Maeda's goal was chopped off because for offside, which I don't think that it was offside. If you look at the line, it's like right there on his back foot. Yeah. And, it was super close, but I think my point is that they were really coming off of the front foot and really trying to take it to him instead of waiting for whatever Rangers were going to do to kind of defend against it, that we wanted to just be on the front foot from the very beginning. And I think we started well. They're the same sorts of misplaced passes, that were a little too heavy or whatever, and they wouldn't work. But, the fact that we started strong, I think overall kind of, at least in my mind, it boosted our mentality for the rest of the match.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Tony? How did you feel about the opening 20 minutes or so?
It was a bit of a strange one because obviously coming into the game, you're thinking, we have no idea how. We don't know what Celtic's going to turn up. We really don't. Even talking to one of my hundmates like on the Friday before, a lot of times I say with these games, you don't know how things are going to go because form sort of goes out the window a lot of the times. But when we came out in that first, 10, 15 minutes, I was like, we're up for it today. Like, there's fight in there. I can see it straight away. Like, they're up for it.
Yeah, you can see that. How
much that was Martin, how much I don't know. But because obviously he's not had a lot of time with the players and stuff like that. But I think a lot of it might just be to, they've been given a little bit more of a freedom. Like, it's not, we're stuck in, the Rodgers style of this is exactly how we play. Going back to, the early 2000s when Martin was there, if you hit long balls, nobody's going to moan at you for it. Whereas, that's something Rodgers would be like, no, that's not how we play type of thing. So I loved the way that we came out, just went at them, exactly as said with Jigga, did not look comfortable on the ball at all. And for a right hand side centre half with not the greatest right back defender in the world, with Tavernier, who likes to get forward, you seen that was an opportunity there on that left hand side straight away. We can get at them down that side. We can get at them, and we did. Maybe not to great effect every time, but you've seen the makings of it in that first 10 to 15 minutes that there's opportunities there.
Yeah. Oh, I felt the exact same way. Like, I was immensely confident after those first 15 minutes. The whatever own goal that was, chopped off, which I disagree with, and I hate that because it's just too tight an angle. I think too tight for them to overturn that. It's a split second difference on when I forget who it was. It Negrin or no? It was Engels who played the ball.
Engels.
Yeah, Engels played the ball. Changes that line significantly, and you're drawing it from weird angles, and I feel like it's almost like you're looking for a way to take this goal away. And have you seen it before? Like last year, the first time we played them at home, and I think it was Kuhn. I think Kuhn was offside and played it across the Kyogo for the goal.
Yeah,
and it was another one where like it was just inches, and they're taking it from this weird angle that they're drawing lines, and there's no way you can definitively say that that's offside. So I think you just got to keep it as the call on the field. And I think Scotland VAR is just looking for that to almost take a goal away at any opportunity they can. So it's very frustrating. I hate VAR, but so that's another story.
I mean, it's one of those ones I like VAR when it goes for us. But,
I mean, it's helped us a lot over the years against them.
But to be fair, with this type of one, I think the only offside VAR that works in this instance is the one that they use like in the European games. The very advanced one where it's, there's a million cameras that work it out type of thing. I remember we benefited from it in Europe when the boy in Kunku went through, and it was literally, as they say in Scotland, a ball hair that he was off.
I remember that.
So if it's going to be a system like that, where it's like the Hawkeye type thing at tennis, that type of system where it's like there's no disputes. But that system that we're using just now, I just think it's it's not enough to say that something like that is off. I don't think it is. And to be fair, I would say that if it was in the other end for the Huns, I generally would. Like,
Yeah, same here. I feel like I'm pretty good on being. I go back to I've refereed soccer, I've refereed basketball, so I I try to take it from a.
oh, well, that's one thing actually. You've just reminded me there that I've been thinking of asking you. And sorry to get going to get us a bit off topic here, right? But it is related to the game, right? So there was 2 minutes added on at the end of the first half, right?
Yes.
So I went back and looked, right? There's 2 minutes added on just for that offside decision.
Okay.
There's also a minute for the Rangers red card. There's also at least a minute for the trusty one. There's obviously other things dotted throughout that first half, but yet they add on 2 minutes. So can a referee please explain to me how they work out, like how much is actually added on?
Well, I mean, for me, I've never done a game of remotely close to any level like that. Like, so doing kids games, you're not having cards for the most point. Maybe an injury here and there. So at that level, it's just I'll just add a minute, But you're right, though. I do think I don't think it's very scientific in those cases
honestly,
how those guys add time.
No matter how much football I watch, it's one of my pet peeves, and it's always like glaringly obvious in the first half, because sometimes there will be all different types of stoppages, and then they go, all right, I'll just make it 1 minute, like just to add on something. Anyway, sorry to take us off a topic there, but it's one of my pet peeves with football.
All right, so goal gets chalked off, whatever. I'm pissed off. Then Johnny Kenny, like we were talking about in the beginning, gets the goal on about 20. I think it was the 25th minute. Celtic scoring off a corner, which you'd love to see. Like we haven't had enough of that over the years. Angles puts in a perfect ball. Kenny, like perfect header, gets up above everybody. I mean, just textbook. So Martin O'Neill, at that point, you're like, maybe if I didn't think Johnny Kenny should have started, all right, I'm all on board right now. And now going forward, you got to figure that like the kids just got probably a ton of confidence. And I had another good chance like right after that. I mean, he kind of dribbled through the defense and put it right on Butland. Good strike, but just right at the keeper. But stuff like that, I think whereas before we were kind of feeling like we had no options at striker. Now it's looking like we have a few decent options, and it's looking good going forward. I'm trying to think what else. What were the other? Oh, of course, the Asgard's red card. Like I don't see how anybody could dispute that.
Zero.
Even like the broadcaster was kind of like, well, I don't think he intended to do it, but it's probably still a red card. Take out the intent because I don't think that in that case it doesn't matter. It's just that's so high and so dangerous, and you even saw like Ralston had to be hurt in that night, man. That in that spot, I can't even imagine how that felt afterwards. So at that point, you got to be feeling confident. How are you feeling towards the end of the first half, going before the trusty play? That was right before the first half. Feeling confident still?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Soon as the red card happened, which I mean clearly, like it was a clear red card. As soon as that happened, I said, "This is going to get interesting." I felt like we were either going to really put the foot down, or it was going to be, a bloodbath either way. And I don't think anybody knew that we're going to go to extra time after that. So I did think that it changed the game, but I actually think that Rangers started playing better after they went down to 10 men. And I'm saying that because I don't feel like we got as many chances, many consistent chances after they went down to 10, just because they were playing a lot more compact than we. I don't feel like we had prepared enough for that. But I think that's my only thing after they went down to 10 was that they really played better. I think Rangers did.
Yeah, definitely. There was also this play in the first half too. The Derek Cornelius on Johnny Kenny. What did you guys think of that play? I remember seeing it at the time, thinking like that's a possible red in my eyes, but they didn't really seem to even take much of a look at it.
I thought it
Tony,
was.
what do you think, Tony?
I think it was possibly a red card, but if that goes away the other way against us, I'm probably a bit disappointed with it. If I'm being completely honest, and I think that's the way you need to look at a lot of decisions. Like, would I be annoyed about it if it happened at the other end of the park? Like, we'll get to Trusty. I'm sure we'll get to Trusty.
Oh yeah.
If that happens at the other end of the park, I'm screaming for a red.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's borderline kind of. So in those cases, I could see it going either way. So like, I'm not that I'm fine with it not being given red, because I can see some refs would give it, some refs wouldn't. So I'm able to view it in those ways.
Another reason why it's kind of similar to Trustees, I think if the ref gives a red, I don't think VAR tells him to look at either of them again.
Agreed.
Which, I think the VAR would probably go, yeah, whatever, we'll take your decision on it, and that's why I would say they're sort of similar. But we'll see.
Comment there says the tackle was a leg breaker. It could have been ankle breaker, possibly, but
and I've done mine about 4 times now. I know what breaks an ankle.
So I guess then moving ahead, let's talk about the Trusty play. So I didn't, for me, and I've seen a lot of people saying it should have been, like Lennon saying it should be red. I'm thinking more on, because like Boyd's going to say it's red, and Hutton said it was red. For me, I don't think it was. Like I think he pulled out enough of the challenge for it to be kind of minimal contact. But like you said, Tony, like probably on the other end, I probably wouldn't scream for it. But I think at the same time, I think, like I said with that Cornelius play, I think it's kind of borderline. It's so one of those like 50-50. I can see some refs are going to give that and some refs don't. What did you think, Chris? Did you think?
I mean, yeah, I think you both make a good barometer of, like, if this happened on the other side, I would be screaming for it. But here's the only thing that I've really thought about post match about it, right? Is that Asgard's high boot on Ralston. You saw him pull his shorts up, and you could see the studs and the blood and everything that's on his leg, right? And if Austin Trusty hadn't pulled out, you would have the same thing on Jack Butland's face, right? And Jack Butland's face didn't look like anything was wrong with it. There was no bruise, there was no blood, there was no, stud marks, there wasn't any of that. So in my mind, like, if I'm looking at it from a, like a police evidence, crime scene kind of thing, I'm going to say that Ralston's was red all day and that the Trustees was the yellow. And, that was the end of it. And I think that was the way for me to kind of say, well, yeah, that wasn't a red card, because if Trusty had gone in full bore there, Butland would have blood on his face, and he didn't have blood on his face. So I don't think it was a red card at all, because there was no intent. And like you said, I think he pulled out.
Yeah. What did you see it? How did you see it, Tony?
So Trusty, obviously the ball's dropping. Trusty sees the ball dropping, goes into Butland's hands. Maybe it goes to pop. He thinks it's going to pop back up, sticks the foot in a bit, but then realizes, oh, nope, shit, pulls away, catches him obviously a little bit, and it is a bit dangerous. But as Chris is saying, it's not as if he literally, as I've seen people on news and whatever talking about, like, he raked it across his face or something. Like, that's not what happened at all. Like, but I do think he was very lucky, and he put himself in a very stupid situation.
Stupid is
when
a
you're
good word for it.
when you're already 1-0 up, one man up, we don't want to give fucking referees any excuse to even it up. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to point out that it wasn't a red, because if it was, I'm sure they would have evened it up.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, and I saw people on social media saying, like, well, refs shouldn't referee that way, but they do. Like, 100%. If a referee is going to get and that probably part of the reason that Cornelius, did that happen before Kenny or before I can't remember.
What was
Asgard. That probably happened before Asgard.
Yeah, I think it did.
Was that about the 30th minute, something round about there? So it was.
Yeah, probably. But I could see in a lot of those cases where, like, if that happened and you ended up not getting the red anyway, but to give a second red if it's a borderline play and you're going to put Rangers down to 9 men, then that's another thing that referees, maybe they shouldn't be looking into things that way, but they do. Like, you might give them a little bit more leeway just to keep things a little more competitive.
Pretty much every ref looks at it like that. We all know from watching so much football over the years, it's harder to get that second yellow than it is the first yellow. There's a different, there shouldn't be, but there's a different barometer there. There just is.
Yeah, I'll take it to as a basketball referee, because I do that more than I did football. And you do hear some of the referees I work with will say, well, that I'm not going to give him a fifth foul in terms of college basketball or high school basketball. I'm not going to make his fifth foul be a cheap one like that. Whereas technically you should, like, a foul's a foul. So and a foul at the beginning of the game should be the same as a foul with 1 second left on the clock, technically. But a lot of guys don't do that. And
and a foul inside the box should be the same as a foul in the halfway line. But we know that's not what happens.
It's not, definitely. All right, so I guess move on to the second half. And like you said, Chris was saying, Rangers with 10 men played better than Rangers with 11 men starting the match. And had a few good chances, and a few in the first half too. Like Chermiti had that one, and Raskin had a little kind of breakaway on Schmeichel. Schmeichel was another guy who I've, like you too, Chris, we've been kind of hard on and wanting to see Sinisalo, but he was really good on Sunday. Came up with some really big saves.
I'm glad to hear you boys are the same as me. I've been calling for Sinisalo for the last 6 weeks now, basically, since the fuck up in Europe. So I thought Sinisalo deserved a shot. But yeah, I think Schmeichel done really well, and then so should at least give him a bit of credit, because the first one with Chermiti, he does enough just to make himself big to sort of put him off. Good save from the Raskin one as well. It's one of the ones where Raskin, I don't know if he just has too much time or something. So happy that Schmeichel just again makes himself big, and we'll take that.
Comes up big save.
He did that on Gassama at the end too, or in the I don't know if it must have been in extra time. I can't remember when that was, but
it was an extra time.
Let me throw a couple comments up first. This one's for Tony. Tony Buckfast, my hero.
Sanjava.
And then for Chris.
You wouldn't believe I had worked in about 6 hours. I've only had a wee bit.
Yeah. I've got a small bottle of Bucky in my little refrigerator that I haven't opened, that I've been saving. So I probably need to go get that real quick. You can toast with some Bucky.
All right, so then moving ahead. 80th minute, 80th or so minute. The penalty on Ralston, handball. How did you guys see it, Tony? What do you think?
I mean, I'm sure you see it the same way as me. Like, what else is he supposed to do? You know, when he gets pushed over, like, what else is he supposed to do? His hands automatically go down. Like, I don't know if you as kids, you'd ever done that thing where you would sit on your knee and you would try and, like, you know, fall down directly.
Mhm.
It's a human reaction where you automatically go to put your hands down. It's one of these things, you know, to brace yourself. I don't really know what else I can do.
No, I agree. Yeah, and I don't even. I think he really almost restrained himself from putting his hand
Yeah,
down,
yeah, it
which is
actually
even
done quite
tougher.
well to like keep them sideways. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was a very just putting his body on the line to try and block a shot, really. So yeah, I was frustrated with that one. Chris, how did you see it?
I mean, same. Like I don't know what you want him to do. Like not catch himself when he's falling. Like you're gonna fall face first into the turf. Like I don't know, man. I've watched the replay of that enough that like I'm convinced that that really could have gone either way. That it was either, oh God, that was clearly a penalty, or he was just falling down and the ball hit him as he's falling, and there's nothing really he can do about it. So I'm not putting a whole lot of weight in that decision because I think they were already looking for anything. And if you gave them enough ammunition, Ralston, uh, you know, I mean, you could argue that that was clearly a handball and that was illegal, or you could look at it and go, he was falling down, but they were already looking for it. So I mean, I'm kind of writing that one off as that was their gimme.
yeah, that's fair.
So I mean, in terms of like, so once he
That's true. That's true.
it is.
That's true.
So once the penalty is given, though, like you do have to feel with Ralston already being on the yellow, he is lucky to stay on.
Well,
That would
that's
have
the
been
thing. That's
that
the
would have
thing.
been doubly harsh.
If they give it, like I've seen, you know, mates of mine complaining, whatever, like saying, well, it wasn't a penalty anyway, but I think as they gave it, which means it is a penalty, and if it is a penalty, he is very lucky to stay on. He is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it shouldn't have been a fucking penalty anyway, but you know.
I know it's a tough one. Like that would have been like super harsh to send him off on that play too. Like after, so I mean, glad it worked out that way. But so I can, for all the bitching that the Huns are doing, like I don't think it was a penalty, but that's one thing I'll give them, that if it is a penalty, he probably should have been sent off. But whatever, fuck him.
Exactly. Fuck 'em.
When that Tavernier stood up to take it, did every single person know that he was going bottom left?
Yep.
Obviously,
That's how I felt.
Michael goes the right way
Yeah.
anyway, but just
Good
obviously
penalty
not
though.
quick enough. But honestly, in the pub and everybody's gone, he's going bottom left. He is going bottom left.
But so Huns tied up. Still, at that, well, maybe not towards the end of regular time. Game finishes up. Once it gets into extra time, I'm feeling immensely confident. I felt like Rangers were kind of out on their feet at that point. Like, I don't know if you felt that same way. And right away, I felt like we pounced on. Even McGregor scores like
2 or
3 minutes in,
later or
3
something.
minutes
Yeah.
in. Before that, I felt like there's goals coming. Like, and I was like, we might win this like 4-1, honestly, and we probably could have when you think about it. I guess thoughts on McGregor's goal, like Chris.
I mean, how can you not say take a bow, Callum McGregor? I mean that was a Callum McGregor goal if I've ever seen one, and I've seen a lot of them. And I mean, what is he, 30 yards out, and he just dooms it into the back of the net. I mean, I know that Butlin, got a touch to it or whatever, but there was nothing he could do to stop that. I mean, that was the captain doing just a, for lack of better terms, kicking the dog shit out of it.
Yes, Tony, what was your thoughts? I mean, it was gorgeous.
I mean, from the end of the 90 minutes and going into extra time, like that sort of 5 minutes in between, saying to like my cousin and anybody else in the pub, like going to extra time only benefits us. Like they're the ones that have been 10 men, doing all the running. Surely we cannot make an arse of this. Surely. And
That's
then,
how I felt.
yeah, as I said, 2 or 3 minutes into extra time, Callum pops up with that, and as soon as that goes in, you could just see the Hunheads dropping, just going,
Yeah.
like, there's no way now. Like,
Yeah. They knew they were done.
the only thing I would say about the goal that see when first viewing it, I assumed it went like straight into like the top corner.
I did too.
From the angle of the TV. I assumed it was straight into the top corner. Then when you watch it back, you go, oh no, it was actually quite central. It was just the sheer power of it. Just
yeah,
it was
there
getting nowhere
was
near it.
like a little touch on Suter's head, I think.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Well,
and I don't know if that, but it was weird how it kind of, I don't know,
So it does a
Butland's
weird
dive.
duck thing, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah.
and if that's my centre back, I'm raging. Like, why are you ducking out of the way of the ball? Like, that's your job. Put your body on the line, type of thing.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Do a Tony Ralston.
Exactly. But I think it put like this crazy spin. It was like the lightest touch ever, I think, on Suter's head. But I think it put like a weird spin on it that might have thrown Butland's dive off. Like he seemed like he like dove the wrong way almost. Like I don't know. But I mean, he hit that so hard, like that and like I jumped out of my and from watching the match, whatever, 6 hours later, 7 hours later, and not knowing the result, like, man, I jumped out of my seat and I yelled. And we have a new dog, and the new dog did not know how to deal with it. Like when Kenny's goal, I think I gave not like that McGregor's goal yet. Like that was, all right, that's a winner, and
It's a good point.
I went nuts.
It must be weird in your neighborhood type thing. When you're watching these games at weird times and they just hear a man like screaming from a basement, like.
Well, I've had times where I had people over to watch Rangers games. It's 7 a.m. I had like 6 or 7 guys, and my neighbor who lives across the street from us is like the kind of guy who he has security cameras everywhere, and he's always on the lookout for people like messing with his property, and even though nobody does. And so that time I know like there were a bunch of cars pulling up in front of his house. It's at 7 a.m. He was losing his mind.
Like your dad out there, FBI with binoculars, like.
Yeah, he's actually called the cops on me a couple times when I had friends over at night. Not because we were being loud, because like they parked in the wrong spot, and he's just an asshole. Like, but I digress.
People in neighborhoods.
I know. Tony doesn't, or Chris doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky. I just live in like a flat, like, so I don't have to deal with any of that nonsense. My neighbours are nice. I barely see them, so that keeps me happy.
I can't see any neighbors from my house. So.
Are you just in like the middle of nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Chris has like as much property as like a park. So
yeah, but I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, like I don't have to worry about like being quiet. Like I can. I mean, obviously my wife and my dogs don't like me to yell, but I did the same thing when McGregor's goal went in. So it was awesome. Good stuff.
So then I guess the other thing to talk about in extra time and towards the end of regular time, like Callum Osmond coming on and looking dangerous, like a few good chances, and easily could have had.
Apparently, just to that Timothy Baird's thing there, apparently it wasn't them fighting amongst themselves. Apparently there was a medical emergency or something on the Rangers end.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
It's being reported here now that while they were trying to signal paramedics to come in, one of the paramedics got assaulted as well. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but apparently, like a lot of fans ended up actually on, like, that bit behind the goal, the sort of,
Mhm.
the track bit. So then the police come in heavy-handed. Apparently, stewards come in heavy-handed, but apparently they're trying to actually get help for somebody having like a stroke or something. So I don't know exactly if that's the exact things, but that's just what I'm seeing from people that were in the end and whatever.
Mhm.
Wow.
So Tony, I guess thoughts on Callum Osman? I mean, another like a guy who's kind of just come out of nowhere to
I mean,
look like he might have a chance to do something for the side.
I'll not get carried away, obviously. Of course I will. He's the best player so far. No. It's in all seriousness. He's come on. He's done really well. You've got to think, why was he not even
Yeah.
making a lot of benches, etc., and not getting a look in at all? Chances are he wasn't a Rodgers signing because he's a youth sort of signing. So is it just Rodgers who went, right? You're not my player, so I'm going to stick with tried and tested. That's why he brought in Ian Nacho. But he looks very good, doesn't he? Very good movement. Just a lot of pace as well. And he's going to cause a lot of problems. Yeah, yeah. So looking at the quality he has, I don't understand why he's not even had a chance in, say, Scotland.
Mhm.
All I can think of is, especially when we've been crying out for strikers this season so far, well, strikers haven't been working out. Maeda through the middle wasn't really working out as it did last season. Johnny Kenny had obviously a few chances. Shin Yamada, if anybody can find them, let us know. Um, so, like, when there's another guy there that you can try, why not? But then at the same time, if Rodgers had gave him a chance and he never turned out to be that sort of good, we'd all be like, what are you doing playing a youngster?
Right,
Because
right.
that's what we're
We
like
don't
as Celtic fans. Like, we
we
want
don't give people a
results.
chance.
Yeah, exactly. We'd have been like, what the fuck are you doing bringing a youngster on when we need a goal with 10 minutes left? Like that type of thing. So it's difficult. It is difficult, like, to get that balance with the youth and actually giving guys a chance. But can't say he didn't take his chance
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, he
on
definitely
Sunday.
did.
So fair play to him.
Very easily could have had at least another goal. That
Yeah.
header
Another two.
across Butland where Butland made it, that was one of Butland's
Yeah.
really good saves. And then the one where like Forrest came on, another guy like Forrest came on and looked like Forrest of old, like just
Mhm.
beating every man, beating every guy, and that he put in a beautiful ball to Osman, and I think Osman just couldn't get it out of his feet, kind of to get any power
And then
to beat Butland.
the one that comes off the bar and hits Butland's back, it could go anywhere, couldn't it? You're like, oh, like, how is that? That's where you do start thinking it sometimes, like, is this just not our day? Is this going to be one of these days that we've all seen sometimes, where it's just like,
Mhm.
oh my god, this isn't happening. Like, luckily at that point, obviously we're 1-0 up, but you start thinking, oh,
Right.
and
I
then
had that feeling.
they do
Yeah.
actually get the
Yeah.
penalty. Then you're thinking, oh
Right.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting there thinking we need a second goal to
Yeah.
a second goal kills it off. Like even if it's at the end of the first half, like I think it takes their heart. Like they're like, yeah, we're 10 men, we're not coming back against coming back from 2 goals down. I think that would have killed them, and we just couldn't get it. And again, it was a couple wasteful moments, which has kind of been the hallmark. At least now I feel we're getting a lot of chances now, whereas earlier on in the season we weren't creating much of anything. So I do feel like uh, things are turning around in that regard, which is nice. Here's a good San Fran Celtic.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a Brendan fan, and I'm starting to agree. I do think we got stale, and I'm not going to say he was poisoned, but like it was time for a change, and it's
I think
becoming more and more obvious.
I think as I said to you pretty much what week after or so, I was ecstatic for it because pretty much this whole season I've been going to games. Obviously season ticket holder, so you're like, I'm not gonna not go to the game. But some of the games you were actually dreading going to because you knew exactly what you were going to be watching. It wasn't going to be very exciting, but you were literally like, is that really how I want to spend my day? You know, going to the football, watching the football, it's supposed to be a fun, enjoyable thing. And you just weren't enjoying it. So I'm glad that happened. And obviously, I adore St. Martin, so, you know.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess so. I mean, we can kind of wrap up the talking about the Hunt game. Osman gets his goal, which was nice and nice moment. Him celebrating with the, celebrating with the fans and the team, and McGregor. I think giving him a big hug after. I don't know. I feel like that whole, and it's kind of maybe what we'll talk about next, but like Martin's influence and giving guys the confidence to do what I feel like we were kind of negative at the end of the Brendan's era, I guess we'll call it, where the guys just didn't seem like they had any freedom to play. Like, and we've talked about the last couple of weeks, Chris. Like, how do you see Martin's influence going forward, and how long is he going to be here? Do you think?
Well, so Tony said it a little bit earlier is that I feel like the one thing that he's done is he's come in and said, right, let's go and play, right? I'm going to trust my players to go and play, and I'm going to give them the freedom to go and play, and I don't know if that's just a mental thing, or they just needed to be told that they can go and run and put passes over the top and put cross balls in, like whatever it's whatever Martin's done in the little time that he's been there. I think that's all they really needed was they needed somebody to go say, look, you're at Celtic Football Club. You know what it's like to play in Scotland. You know what it's like to play in Europe. And all you need to have is the confidence to go and do it. And so if Martin O'Neill's done anything since he's been back, it's just been being able to give us that confidence that says, look, we know that we have quality players. We know that we are a quality side, and we just have to go out and perform. And for whatever reason that we got stale under Brendan Rodgers, I think that's gone. For how long Martin O'Neill's going to be here, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he's going to be long term.
No.
I think he's made that abundantly clear that he won't be, the next full-time manager, and I don't think Sean Maloney will be the next full-time manager. I think it'll be somebody, but I think that they're at least going to attempt to get somebody in that really is going to fit with the program. My guess is that we will probably see Martin until the end of the year. That's kind of what I'm kind of hedging my bets on, is that if we're going from a schedule standpoint, it will be an announcement will made sometime in December. I think there's been reports that they've got somebody that they have in mind that won't be available until December or whatever it is. And I mean, you could read fucking tabloids of all of the names that are coming across, and you would go dizzy with all of the reading that would be involved with it. So I don't want to speculate about who's going to be the manager. I've read anything from Jurgen Klopp to fucking Neil Lennon. I mean, like you could run the gamut of who's going to come in, but I think the focus, at least for the squad now, is just let's go play. Let's play under Martin O'Neill. Whatever he's got to tell you, whatever Sean Maloney's got to tell you, let's just do it and adapt and see where it gets us. That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah, Tony, how do you see the word? Do you think it'll end of the season or middle of the season? We lost your mic, I think, Tony.
Muted myself there while this was talking away. I think I'm not too sure exactly how it's going to go. Because let's be honest, it's a Celtic board. Anything could fucking happen. Like, Jesus, they could bring Lennon back next week for all we know. Like, let's be honest, like they're that
Yeah.
stupid and incompetent. But I think Martin's done well, obviously, for the couple of games. From all of his comments, it doesn't seem like he's thinking of it long term at all, as in even to the end of the season type of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
I
like it.
think the interview he said today he expects probably something over the international break. Whether that happens, we'll see. Some of the options I've seen bandied around is, people always post, this person's the bookie's favourite or whatever, and that really means nothing, to be honest. If Martin could take us to January, I'd be happy with that. If we keep Martin to the end of the season, I'd be happy with that as well. Because I know Martin's going to at least have the players fired up every week. Martin obviously talking over the years, and from his interviews, Martin was always the manager. Martin was never really the coach in his first spell. It was always John Robertson was on the one that was the day-to-day, everyday coaching. So if Sean Maloney can do that and take basically about like 75% of the job, Martin's just sort of figurehead, tells the sort of plans or whatever. I wouldn't argue with that until the end of the season, unless a better option becomes available. As I said, I do like obviously the idea of the boy Knutson and whatever, Norwegian boy, Bodo Glimt. I think he'd be a good shout, but unless something becomes really available that you go, right, this is a great idea, then I don't really know exactly what you do. And is this the board that we want appointing that next person as well? Because really, not much is going to change with transfer strategy wise, unless the board has changed as well. A new director of football, scouting, all that type of stuff as well. There's a lot bigger problems than just the manager. There is, and that needs dealt with as well. And that goes right up to the big Tash fuck as well that doesn't even own us. He's just the largest shareholder.
Yeah, I guess I'll throw up our channel has the where's the ambition thing that Gaz's been trying to
Yeah, there we go.
get going. That's very true. Last thing on Martin O'Neill, choice of tracksuit. What do you think of the tracksuit on Sunday, Chris?
I mean, if you don't love it, I think there's something wrong. Are you kidding? Like,
yeah, like I need that. Except we're not allowed to spend money on this club merchandise right now. So.
He probably had to pay. He probably had to pay for his own.
his interview with Neil Lennon and all of that crew that was there or whatever, and they asked him about the tracksuit, and he's like, yeah, I didn't like the ones that were skin tight, and I was like, that's the most badass thing I've ever seen. That was incredible. He looked like a pimp out there. I mean, it was phenomenal, and long may Martin O'Neill wear those kind of tracksuits on the touchline. I'm still not buying one, Celtic. So.
Like weirdly, when Martin was announced he was coming back, it's one of the first things I thought of. I went, is he going to be wearing these tracksuit on the touchline? Like, it was one of the first things. And when we scored against Falkirk, I immediately looked over to see if I seen his wee,
Yeah, I saw him. He's jumping higher than me at however 73. So
I got a train. So
that's all right.
But no, it's brilliant. Like, players round about my age, like Callum McGregor, James Forrest, that grew up with like Martin's the first like really permanent, like was there for a long time manager. it was surreal for me sitting at Celtic Park, and I sit on the halfway line directly across, looking across and seeing Martin O'Neill sitting there. Like, them on the pitch, that must just be the craziest thing ever, just looking over going, what?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? Like, that.
Plus, I was listening to the Charlie Mulgrew talking about him, and just I think the way he does things, like you said, like he's not kind of the day-to-day guy. He's just kind of like that guy who's kind of in the background, but everybody still looks up to, and like, and you feel like he's still the king of the place. But so I guess it's I don't know, maybe it's just different to what we're used to maybe that's like kind of the old school, or I don't know, maybe if Brendan was like that, but
Well,
it did seem like Sean Maloney was doing a lot of the coaching on the field that day or on Sunday. So
with sort of old school, new school and stuff, I think it's like the way Martin manages. Obviously, it is a bit different to the way things are probably done nowadays, But then back in Martin's day, we didn't have Lennoxtown or anything at that point. We were still training just up the road from here. We used to have to hide it from new signings because it was a shithole, where you literally had a manager and maybe like, 2 coaches. So that was like all you had. Nowadays, like, many coaches of some of the teams got, it's ridiculous. To be fair, we could probably use one, but some of these teams have got like just a free kick coach or set piece coach and stuff like that, and you're like, right, maybe sometimes like too many cooks, is a bit too much, just maybe one person, couple of people, right? This is what we want to do. Go put it across to the players. And as I said, apparently John Robertson is what used to do that for Martin in his first spell, and a lot of the players didn't even go to Martin, apparently. They went to John Robertson, and if John needed to, he would then go chat to Martin about something or whatever. But it was pretty much, your first point of contact was John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, it was interesting hearing Charlie Mulgrew talk about it. And I mean, probably when he was playing, he was probably just a real little guy playing well, like the first time Martin O'Neill was around. So, like, probably him seeing Martin O'Neill at that time was like he was looking at God. Like he was, that's the guy he longs to impress. So,
yeah, well, I think you're probably about right. I think, what did Charlie leave from the youth academy around about 2006, I want to say, roughly around about there.
6 or 7.
He went obviously down south, then he went back up to Aberdeen, and then we were like, oh no, you could actually play. Come here.
Let me throw up a comment. Cheers to I'm on the IPAs tonight, so very hazy one too, as you can see.
Jesus. Same colour as Chris's window. Sorry, walls.
All right, so last topic, because it's like what now, 2 a.m. for Tony, and he's got to work tomorrow, and he's drinking Bucky. But
to be fair, I've literally just drank
So Tony is a massive, like we said in the beginning, Boston sports fan, and again, that's part of the I've never actually met Tony. Chris has met Tony, but in person. But we always we're on Twitter and stuff at the end of the night, talking about the NBA and NFL. Like we actually bet on the Super Bowl back in 2000.
we did.
What year? 2018.
I forget how'd that one go.
Eagles won.
No. I generally, because I definitely lost that bet.
That was a charity bet. I forget what that. Yeah.
It was.
We donated to charity.
It was £50, $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
To
So
a favorite charity, depending on whose team won. Yeah.
That was our Eagles' first Super Bowl, so it was a huge moment for us in Philly. But
was that the one you were running about with all the dog masks? Was that one? Chris Long.
That was Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I
that
think it
was the
was that
next.
one, was it?
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris
But
Holley's a good dude.
Yeah,
he is a
I
good
mean,
dude.
he was on the Pats for well, not donkeys, but a few years as well. He won a Super Bowl with us, and yeah, I think he's regularly when he was in the league, he was regularly voted like the most charitable guy and all that and whatever. So, yeah, he always seemed like a good guy.
Yeah. So back to that. So how did you become how did you one get into American sports and then two pick Boston as your
Well,
team? Was it Celtics related or
no, because the Red Sox came first,
okay?
so surprisingly not. So one of the free air channels in Scotland, you have channel 1 to 5 was like your basic channels back in the day. Channel 5 used to show baseball games at like 1 in the morning. Nobody would be watching them. Like there was probably a viewership of about 12 people in total watching these games. But there was like 7, 8-year-old Tony there sitting watching them. And the first game I ever watched was a Boston Red Sox game against the Detroit Tigers. And I said, whoever wins this game, I'm going to support. Red Sox won the game. And now we're talking this is round about like 1999, something around about there. So thank fuck the Red Sox won because they've got 4 World Series then, breaking the curse. I don't believe the Tigers have done anything in those like 26 years. So
No, they've had a few decent teams, but nothing like. I mean, the Red Sox were like that, and you probably just jumped right into that Red Sox Yankees rivalry right at that time, like 2000. Was it 2004 that they?
2004 is eventually
Yeah,
when they, yeah, well,
and even
obviously,
me, like, because I hated the Yankees so much, I became a Red Sox fan. I sent you the picture. I will never send it to anybody else. Like me wearing a Red Sox hat.
I mean, well, I mean the thing about that, I said my favourite documentary ever. It's the 30 for 30, 4 Days in October.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen it, go watch it. Greatest.
I have. It's
Uh,
amazing.
and there's actually a Scottish guy that turns up on it. Like I don't know if you remember that well, but there's a Scottish guy that turns up on it. That's a Red Sox fan. I've still yet to find this guy. I've looked for him. And obviously they beat them in the LCS, coming back from 3-0 down, make it 4-3, and then the actual World Series against the Cardinals was a formality basically.
Yeah, it really was.
But yeah, so basically from becoming a Red Sox fan, and then very quickly round about the same time, basketball was getting very popular here as well. Obviously this was about what 7 years after the Dream Team type of thing, but courts started going up around like places in Europe and Scotland and whatever. If they were building a football pitch, they would maybe add a basketball pitch and stuff, a basketball court beside it. And then guys like Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Paul Pierce, fuck Kobe, come along and just love it. And if I'm already liking the Red Sox, they're the Boston team, I may as well like the Celtics. Plus, they're called Celtic. Like, it just makes
Yeah, it's
sense.
easy.
Yeah, it just makes sense. So from then, obviously, I can't claim to have watched, Tom Brady's first 3 titles, Super Bowls, but his last 3, obviously, I remember. So from you're talking about 2010 onward, I remember starting watching sort of Patriots. And again, that was kind of the same thing. It was like, well, I'm already following these other 2 Boston teams. So I may as well follow the Patriots because apparently they're fucking good as well. So that helps. So yeah, that just gets me into it, and
So you're a glory hunter then? Is that what you're telling me?
that's it. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Well, when
But
it comes to the Patriots, probably a little bit because I said I
no,
don't
just
really remember the first 3 Brady ones, but as I say, I was a Boston fan, so that
yeah.
would be
Well, you
my
jumped in on the
excuse.
Yeah, you jumped in on the Red Sox before they kind of became a little bit of a dynasty back in like the mid, 2004 to that 2010 area. They were very good like that whole time with.
I mean, of all of the, probably from there when I started sporting, you're saying about 1999, somewhere around about there. Is there any other American city or state that have actually won more titles? There can't be, surely.
No, definitely not.
So
No.
I get a very, very good time actually. I get very, very lucky. But to be fair, I would still be up till 2:30, 3 in the morning
Mhm.
watching the Red Sox, the Celtics, or whatever, whether they
Right.
were dog shit or not. So, this year the Celtics are probably a 500 team. Sorry, the Celtics, probably a 500 team. I'll still be up watching them.
Yeah.
Like you probably seen me at my phone a minute ago because they're playing.
Checking the score. Well, like so I think that's what we were joking. Like you're the opposite of us. Like Chris is up at 6 a.m. on someone being in the central time zone, 6 a.m. to watch Celtic, and I mean I've seen you up at like whatever 3 a.m. watching Celtics on the West Coast sometimes. Or
See, the West Coast ones, you definitely have to go for a sleep first. Set an alarm, get up, watch it, go back to sleep for a few hours because you can't stay up and then just, the game finishes at 5:30 and you're starting work at 9. Like it's just you just can't do it. So you definitely need to go for a few hours kip first, and then get back up and watch the end of the games. That's what I would.
Probably. Yeah, but there, I mean, you do see, and there's a couple that I've seen over the years on social media. Like there's I know I think his name's like Gary Scottish Eagle on Twitter, and he's a big Eagles fan. And he comes over here all the. I've seen him coming over. I've never actually met him, but I know he's been over here for Eagles games, and I think his son is a Seahawks fan, and he's taking him over to Seattle like in the next couple of weeks, like to see a Seahawks game. So like there are those fans over there. My camera's getting very blurry. I don't know what happened.
See, that's one of the ones that like living in Scotland, I couldn't be a fan of a West Coast team. Like with the time difference, it would not work. Like trying to stay up all the time, try to see these games, it would be impossible. But you guys obviously get up at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Like I was thinking earlier, when I was thinking about the Michelin game, obviously tomorrow, I was like, oh, that's an early kickoff. But that's actually a late kickoff for you, really.
It's in the middle of our workday.
Yeah, but it's 5:30, which is like an early European kickoff. But to you guys, that's like middle of the day.
It's 11:45 a.m.
I would I would so much rather stay up late at night than get up early. So like, I am definitely one of those ones that I would go if it was the opposite way. Oh no, I'll just go back to sleep. I'd know that alarm.
Well, that's like the West Coast Celtic supporters here have to get up at 4 a.m. to watch some of the whatever noon kickoffs for you guys, like which that's insane too. And a lot of them can't even open, so they end up doing like the kind of what I did, the cone of silence for even probably even some Rangers games, I would think. Yeah. I mean, because it's tough to get bars to open for that time. Outside, if you're in New York, you can get them to just stay open. And I've actually been in bars overnight in New York to watch a Celtic game. So at the Fenian Boys. So it's challenging, I guess. And like you have that challenge of supporting the Celtics and the Red Sox. The Patriots typically aren't. I mean, you'll get every once in a while night games.
Midday Sunday, but unless it's Monday night or Thursday, you're usually okay. But no, talking about like getting bars to stay open, when I was in Boston, obviously, to see the Red Sox. I was there to see the Celtics as well at the same time, but that was 6 years ago now. And Game 5, Eastern Conference semi-finals, tickets for Game 6, and Milwaukee popped us out in 5. So I never got to go to the Celtics game the
That
next night.
sucks.
I was,
Oh, that's brutal.
Oof.
and it's still to this day why I despise. Well, it's one of the reasons why I despise Kyrie Irving, because he basically gave up on that entire series. And I was supposed to go to see them the next night and then get put out, but at least I got to see the Red Sox on that trip. So
Yeah,
can't
that, I
complain
mean,
too much.
how many times have you been to Fenway then?
So twice actually on that trip, both back to backs, Mariners. What was it? 9-5 and 14-1 was the other one. So absolutely annihilated them. And it was perfect, cracking weekend. Sun was shining. Done the tour on the Saturday before the first game, and you'll know yourselves, like these baseball games, start at stupid times like 6 minutes past 1, like for TV reasons. It's like, why is that? Like, is it just a TV thing or something?
It is. It's money.
So stupid. Like, the game first pitches at 6 minutes past 1. What? Like, what are we talking about?
Because the broadcast starts on the hour, and then they need like 5 minutes to talk about it before.
Yeah, exactly. And my other pet peeve with the NBA, where the game's supposed to start at 12:30 my time, but really it starts at like 1 o'clock. Like, could you imagine if you two logged in to watch Celtic Sunday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, says the game starts at 12, game doesn't actually start until 3:30. You're like, I could have been in my bed for another half hour.
It's true. It's true.
But that's also the difference between American sport and watching Celtic and I don't really watch anything besides Celtic anymore. I used to watch EPL and stuff, but when you start a game, so if it's an 8 a.m. kickoff on a league game, you're going to be done by 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, I mean, you look at the one the World Series game with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers that went 18 innings, so it goes for six hours. Like, I don't know if you guys could, or the majority of Scottish.
The Red Sox one done that in 2018 again against the Dodgers. Honestly, it got to the point where like I was like, I need to leave the house to go start work. Like, that's how like late this game was going. Like, I was like, I need to actually like go to work. Because I think that was the same. Was it 18 innings or something? It went.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think I remember.
It was ridiculous. Like, and fair enough, they've speeded up the game of baseball quite a bit now. With the pitch clock and everything. But back then, like a game regularly went 3.5, 4 hours. Never mind it going to 18 innings, where they're changing pitchers like every inning.
Until you can't, because you don't
Yeah.
have any left.
They're about 2 seconds away from shouting a guy from the crowd to like, come on, like we need somebody.
But then, so I guess last question in terms of the difference between American and sports over in the UK, I guess. Commercials, advertisements, like, does that fucking drive you crazy? Because I think for me, as a guy who started out watching American sports and then started watching Celtic and other football, it turned me off to American sports to the point where I don't watch it as much anymore. I don't watch American sports as much anymore because I do get turned off by the advertisements. Like, how does that? I mean, you're probably used to it by now, but when you started,
it's actually so frustrating. And especially like say a baseball game, right? And they put the baseball game up in 1/4 corner while the advert's going on at the same time, and you're like, I'm trying to see what's going on. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, with if you watch like quite a few times, I've watched a dodgy stream and it's been through like an American CBS or something like that. That's fine because you just get the usual adverts, halftime, the standard. Where it gets annoying is with like the NBA, where they have a scheduled timeout essentially for ad breaks. It's like, really? Like, what are we doing here? Like, just get on with the game.
Yep.
Or like watching the Red Sox game, and what was it? But 6 months ago, what was it they were saying? Something about our like preferred like Stanley blade or something. Like it was generally like like the Stanley blades. It was like the Stanley blades all for like the Boston Red Sox choice or something. It's like, could you imagine in the UK advertising Stanley blades during a game of football? Like, what the fuck? Like, the only reason they use them in the UK is to take people's faces off. I'm actually not even kidding.
I know you're not.
Like, so, like, just, yeah, with the adverts, I'll never really understand it. Even when we're coming up, obviously, to Super Bowl, obviously they're going on, there's a bit of a thingy going on with the halftime show and whatever, Who cares? I usually mute that shit anyway.
Yeah, I turn it off and I'll turn it back on once the game starts. If I'm even watching it. Usually I'm only watching it if the Eagles are in it, so.
And
the
good thing is if you're in the UK at the time, it's on BBC. Now, BBC are only allowed to show adverts between programmes, not like even at like half time between a football game or anything like that. So like, see all the adverts that you get during the Super Bowl or anything like that. We just have guys sitting in a studio having to talk shit for like 4 minutes. Like, because it's only been like 5 minutes since the last ad break. So like, there's people just trying to come up with something like. And half of them have probably never seen a game of American football in their life. So they start drafting in, like, I don't know, like they'll have an interview with like Harry Kane or something, like how are you enjoying the game? Genuinely, like it's if you ever get to watch like the Super Bowl on BBC, you'll find it funny as fuck. Like they just need to talk about something for like these like 2 dead hours while users are showing adverts.
That's actually a selling point, I think, for watching Celtic or any other European football is that the game starts at 12, it's over by 2. And you can go on about your day. The ads to go from watching, European football to watching American football is like, and I would almost rather watch paint dry than I mean, because it takes all day to watch one game. I mean, it's 4 or 5 hours to watch an American football game because of all of the breaks for commercials and whatever. And I'm completely with you. I wish it wasn't like that, but that's the selling point of watching European football is that you can turn it on, watch it, turn it off, and you can go on about your day.
I mean, the one good thing is, at least at your sports, if you're away to a baseball game, say, you're at the Phillies, whatever, at least you can go get hammered. Could you imagine being in Celtic Park for 5 hours without any booze or anything? You'd be like, like, Jesus Christ, this is boring.
You can get a pie though in Celtic Park though. We can't get that.
Yeah, well, I don't advise them.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would even try that when I come over. So I will get over there one day, but
going to the Red Sox game.
Days.
Honestly, going to the Red Sox game, that first ever time I was at a Red Sox game, that is the first sporting event that I have ever been able to drink at. Because I've only ever go to football games.
Yeah.
So,
right.
me and my mates ended up absolutely hammered. Like, I think we had about 15 beers just in the stadium. We'd had about 5 before it.
Mhm.
By the time we got to McGreevy's, boy that by the Boston Dropkick Murphys owns the pub.
Oh yeah. Ken Casey.
Time we got to McGreevy's, we are absolutely smashed, and it's like 6 o'clock in the day. And then had to get up the next morning at like 6 o'clock, and this is the first time I've ever really felt bad for you guys because I was dying, and make my way out to Southie in Boston to what was it called, the Banshee?
Oh yeah. Me and
to
Chris
watch-
went there.
Yeah.
To watch Celtic and the Huns.
Oh, you got a hunt. How's the crowd there for the Derby match? Me and Chris went for like I think it was Motherwell.
I think
Yeah.
there
I think
was
we saw.
I think there was maybe about 40 people in the upstairs, but
Okay. Yeah.
something like that. It was quite busy. What they didn't tell me is Boston bars can't serve until like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's sitting about having big, massive breakfasts and all that, and I'm like, where's the booze? I need a cure here. Like, I was absolutely dying. Luckily, there was a boy that obviously knew, an Irish boy, and he had a wee hip flask, and he was like, "There you go." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, I need something here." You know,
Here's a question for Tony from Callum.
gobbles.
He's probably not
Gobbles,
listening.
Callum.
We probably lost all the Glasgow people with the American sports talk, but that's all right.
Well,
We're gonna do our thing.
yeah, that's it.
And this one, I think there's 3, but I'm not 100%. If Trump doesn't take him away from Philly, which he might, you never know.
Being bad boys.
See if they do take any away from you, please give them to Mexico just to see his reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think they're going to take it away. I don't think the FIFA will take him away from. I think it would be Trump. I don't think Trump has the power. I think he thinks he does, and I think they're leaning. I don't want to get political. I'm not getting political.
Well, this is related.
Oh, I'm starting. I'm sorry.
This is related to football. Did you
Yeah.
see there was a thing announced today from FIFA? They're announcing a FIFA Peace Award or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's going to get like awarded at the White House.
It's
And I'm
going
like,
to Trump.
You just know who it is going to, don't you? You just know. They've created an award for him. Like.
He needs a consolation trophy from not winning the Nobel Prize.
Yeah. What many awards is apparently stopped now? Is that 7 or 8?
So he says.
Oh,
all right.
honestly.
Well, we've gone on an hour. This is our longest show we've done.
Yeah,
hour and a half. I knew it was going to be because I knew we had to catch up because I haven't talked to Tony in a while. So, but we'll have to get you on again, definitely.
And
I'm
you know
sure
me,
Chris agrees.
You know me, I'll always rabbit on anyway.
Yeah, if you can stay up late another night, so I'm sure that you wouldn't mind.
As I said, you know I'm always going to be pretty much up round about these times, depending on what's happening. Which, just checking just now. Yeah, I'll be going to bed because the Celtics are up 31 in the fourth quarter against the Wizards, so I'm not. So I will not be staying up to watch the last 12 minutes of that or 8 minutes, whatever it is. But as we say, it won't be 8 minutes. It'll actually end up about 45 minutes with the ad breaks, all of the timeouts. That will go on for about another 40 minutes now, at least, I would say.
That's my wife's question always, and not as much watching Celtic, but watching, any other American sport. Like, I'm like, oh, there's 3 minutes left. It's like 3 minutes, or it's like how much real time?
Yeah, like she leaves the room and thinks she must be
20
pausing it or something. Like,
Yeah.
like, you must be pausing that. Like, how is it not finished yet? Like,
I've been married for nearly 25 years, so she's on to my little game there. So, but all right, well.
But no, definitely, you know me, as I said, I'll always be up round about these times most of the time. So give us a wee shout.
We definitely will.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll be back next week. We don't have anybody lined up yet, so me and Chris got to get together. So it might be Tony again next week. We'll see.
There you go.
But hail, hail. I'm on the hoops, and we'll see you next week.
Happy
Cheers.
boys. Catch you later.
Chuck Yarlaw.